evening, everybody. This is Bob Cole along with Bill Clement. Game 5, Philadelphia with their backs to the wall. What's going to happen as we look at Bernie Parent down there?
They're obviously going to be giving it everything that they have, Bob. This is the first time in this playoff series that they have faced elimination. The first time in the 77-78 series.
Okay, Bill, and there's Jerry Cheevers, the hot man. They say, Bill, he's the money man in any playoff.
He always is. He's always played well in playoffs.
We'll see as McCauley goes to center ice, and so does Bobby Clarke for Philadelphia, and Peter McNab for the Boston Bruins. Game 5 is underway, and it comes back to the line. Cleared in by Smith. DuPont for Philadelphia, back of the net. He was checked right away by McNab. But here's Bobby Clarke, the leader for Philadelphia, gets it up to Watson, and Clarke is loose on the left, and Watson failed to set him up. Clarke was moving into the crease. They bump heavily. There's a penalty coming up. Clarke centers it, and the first penalty of the hockey game is coming up right here to the Boston Bruins. O'Reilly, I think, he gave Bobby Clarke quite a jolt.
Terry O'Reilly gets the first penalty of the hockey game at 25 seconds into the first period. Remember, these clubs had a fight after just 11 seconds the other night. Good scoring chance for the Flyers right off the bat. Watson teaming up with Clarke.
And from the faceoff, Brad Park on the glass. It doesn't come out, though. Now, Milbury finds the opening and clears it down the ice. No score. They played just 40 seconds into the first period. Philadelphia with a man advantage. And now the Flyers coming out, led by Barber to Kindrachuk. Kindrachuk, McLeish. His shot is wide. And it's kept in by Leach, number 27. Milbury had him covered. No, they don't get a whistle. It comes loose. And McLeish dropped it behind the net to Kindrachuk. Kindrachuk is covered right away. And at the line, Barber stopped it. He kept it in. Here's Leach on a bad angle. Rolled it to the side of the net. And Leach couldn't reach it as Kindrachuk tried to set him up, and it's cleared away by Boston. 1 minute and 5 seconds left in O'Reilly's penalty. No score. Nearing the 2-minute mark of the first period, and here's Leach coming out to center. Leach winding up, doesn't shoot it, rolled it in, but offside was Daly on his right.
Well, you heard Howie Meeker talk about Brad Park before the game tonight. Certainly a key man for the Bruins, Bill Clement.
Well, he certainly is. He's the man that quarterbacks most of the things that come from the Boston zone. He kills penalties and is really the quarterback of their power play. So he is a key man for the Bruins. He has to play well.
Bridgman got the draw. 50 seconds left in the Boston penalty. Park doing good work. Nearly hit Kelly, though, at the blue line. LaPointe for Philadelphia. LaPointe pushed it in on the boards behind the net. Milbury racing after it, but Kelly is there first, and Kelly was bumped by Milbury. Kelly still has it, though, and he failed to hit Lonsberry with the pass. He was left uncovered for a second or two. Lonsberry ran into the boards as he tried to hit Brad Park. O'Reilly has 24 seconds left in his penalty as Bridgman rolled it to center to Lonsberry to Kelly. That didn't work. Kelly was in ahead of the play, and the Bruins cleared it anyway. So it goes right on with 12 seconds left in the penalty. Philadelphia have one more chance to move it down the ice, and here's LaPointe. At center, LaPointe shoots it in. Clarke has Bridgman covered. O'Reilly gets ready to step back on. The penalty is over. Jonathan couldn't get through the Philadelphia defense. And it's cleared by the Flyers down the ice. Going to the icing. There it is. And it's called back into the Philadelphia zone. But Ratelle at the far side has been injured.
I didn't see that happen. Ratelle is down in front of the Bruin bench. Ratelle playing in his 100th playoff game, and that happened away from the play, Bill Clement. Did anybody see what happened?
I didn't see what happened, but Holmgren was the only Flyer in that area, and he was carrying the puck. There were a number of Bruins trying to check Holmgren, so perhaps he was hit with a high stick, even from one of his own players.
Well, Bill is going off. You're right. He has been cut over the right eye, I think.
I'll bet anybody right now that he'll be back here in about 15 minutes.
Can't keep a good man down. Frosty Forrestal, the trainer, with Frosty written across the back of his jacket, helps Ratelle off to the sidelines.
There's no score with 2 minutes and 35 seconds gone in the first period. The teams now are at full strength, and we're getting set for the face-off to the right of Bernie Parent. Clarke comes from the Philadelphia bench. There he is, and he's ready. Game number 5. And Clarke rushes after it, but it was cleared by Jimmy Watson into the corner. DuPont up on the boards to Barber. He was bumped by Schmatz. It comes to center. Doak shoots it in for Boston. Going in back of the net, Jimmy Watson. Watson cleared it up on the boards. They can't get it out, though. In front of the net it comes, and DuPont was covering up neatly. Up to center ice, and again Doak for Boston. A pass went too far for Schmatz, but here is Smith. He was stopped. Holmgren can't get to it. And it's over the boards at the far side, and play is called. 3 minutes and 9 seconds gone in the first period, and no score. Smith played it up from center ice. It's knocked back in by Philadelphia's Daly. And Doak goes back to the Boston net. Starting out, lost it in front. Quick shot! And Cheevers looked behind him. Man, was that close. What happened there, Bill? A little bit of loose play.
It was a little bit of loose play. Gary Dornhofer is getting an opportunity to play his first game against the Boston Bruins, and you can be sure that he is hungry. If the Flyers lose tonight, Gary Dornhofer said he will retire, and it could be his last game tonight in a Flyers uniform.
Good forechecking by the Flyers, and another good scoring opportunity. Cheevers has been so hot in this playoff series. Paul Holmgren, father of a new baby boy a couple of weeks ago, Jason Paul.
3.5 minutes gone in the first period. There is no score. Here's Haley shooting one. That went by Cheevers, but also by the net. Lonsberry was stopped from centering it by Park. Park still fighting for it against Lonsberry. It comes loose. Lonsberry kicked it free. McLeish took a shot, and it's gloved by Cheevers. Now Marcotte up to center ice. The Bruins coming in. And Cashman centered it. It went by everybody into the corner. Milbury back of the net for Cashman. And again, play call. We're getting another penalty. I think this time Dornhofer was into a bit of a fracas.
Gary Dornhofer gets the first Philadelphia penalty for elbowing at 3:58. Dornhofer, number 12, gets the elbow up in the glass in the corner.
I only guessed at an elbow. That's one of Dorney's favorite maneuvers.
Well, Bill, he sure got it up that time, and he's off for that. A minor penalty to Dornhofer. The Bruins now with a man advantage. It comes in front, back to the line. Here's Park getting set. Park doesn't shoot it. Rolled it over to Sheppard. Sheppard back to Park on a skate. He gives it to Sheppard again. Bad pass. And Barber backhands it down the ice for Philadelphia. The Bruins with McNab at center ice. O'Reilly coming back. This is O'Reilly with McNab. He dropped it for Park. He'll go back and wind up again. Now, Sheppard's pass down to center ice. Middleton is stopped near center, and Philadelphia doing a good job while shorthanded. 1 minute and 23 seconds left in Dornhofer's penalty. No score in this first period. Nearing the 5-minute mark as Park picks his way to center ice. Park goes up over the line, got away from a check but lost control of it. Now O'Reilly brings it in. For Middleton it didn't work. And again, Barber finds the opening as the Flyers change on the go. McLeish and Kindredchuk are over the boards. And 1 minute left in the penalty now to Dornhofer. There is no score in this first period. And the Bruins on the power play, unable to get it going so far. Middleton looked for the pass, but it went to McNab. McNab in back of the net, but fired on the glass by DuPont. And Middleton centered it by everybody. O'Reilly ended up in the net behind Perron, and he was really going full steam. Here's O'Reilly. He's a rugged customer coming in with Brad Park. The Flyers are checking very closely now, and the Bruins unable to move it on this power play. O'Reilly ran into his man Watson. Middleton in the corner looking around. Middleton still has it back to Park. Park gets set into O'Reilly in front of McNab. Oh, great save! Rebound, and it doesn't come anymore. That was a brilliant save by Bernie Perron, Bill.
Certainly was, Bob. Just some tremendous action. This is playoff hockey, and it's easy to tell we're coming down to the semifinals because action just keeps picking up every game.
On the replay now, Peter McNab. It's amazing how many goals this fella scored during the regular season. 41 with Boston. Grew up in San Diego and really developed late in life in college as a hockey player. big tall forward with the Boston Bruins, started out with the Buffalo Sabres, an exchange of free agents for Savard, who went to Buffalo.
12 seconds left in the Philadelphia penalty. Marcotte! Oh, and Perron got a stick on that one. And Bailey was really wrapped up in the boards in his own end, and Bailey is going off. He's been hurt. The Philadelphia penalty is over. Philadelphia with McLeish in the Boston zone, centering it. Henrichuk was covered. McLeish couldn't move it. The Bruins. Doak got it up to the line at center. Jonathan's pass into Marcotte. Back to Jonathan. He rolled it in front of the net. And Tom Bladen cleared it. Then it was stopped up the line by Smith. Jonathan keeping it in with Schmatz. He's dangerous. Shoots a hot one. And Perron stopped that one from Bobby Schmatz. Now Kelly ran into Marcotte. Here's Jonathan coming into the fray. They're all piling into the corner over there. No score in this first period. They played 6.5 minutes.
No sign yet of, well, Jean Ratelle went off probably for stitches a while back. There's the shot of Daly at the Flyer bench.
Now the face-off to the right of Perron. And he appears to be out for one of his hot games. A play in front by Wensink. And Perron steered it back to the net. It's grabbed by Tom Bladen. Bladen's pass comes up to the line. And here's Bridgman to center. Going in with Leach. He took a shot. And that goes up into the crowd to the right of Cheevers.
You know, Bob, not only is Bob Daly injured as well as Jean Ratelle, but Bobby Clarke came off the ice right near the beginning of the game, favoring, I believe it was his leg, and he is not on the Flyers bench at the moment. And without Bobby Clarke, the Flyers will definitely have their hands full. They will anyway.
Familiar face in the crowd, Ed Snyder, Bill, chairman of the Philadelphia Flyer Hockey Club.
Brad Park played it up on the boards for Wensink. He couldn't move it out. Philadelphia with some pressure on. Kelly took a backhand shot. Didn't get much on it though, and it was wide anyway. Now it comes back to Wensink near the line with Cashman. Here's Cashman coming in. He shoots it in off the boards. Bladen and Wensink. The Bruin ran into the Philadelphia goaltender, Bernie Perron, and shook him up a little bit. He's okay, though. Bridgman's long pass to Kelly, offside, just across center ice. That one was close.
It sure was. Bob Kelly is a real going concern every time he steps on the ice, and he breaks away, and not a team with his defensive efforts, but at times scores exciting goals. And he was in full flight that time, and if it hadn't been offside, there was a good chance he would have been in.
See Wayne Cashman going off for arrest. Met Bob Kelly's mother on a flight just the other day, Bill, and I said, was Bob always that way growing up? Did he always have that much energy? And she says, ever since he was a little boy. Growing concern.
Now from the draw with 7.5 minutes gone in the first period. There's no score in this game number 5. McLeish, backhand pass to Lonsberry. Lonsberry bumped by O'Brien. McLeish took a shot, kicked back at him by Cheevers. O'Reilly, number 24, to McNab in the Boston zone. Out to center ice, Middleton can't reach it. And the Philadelphia Flyers, Jimmy Watson shoots it down. Stopped by Cheevers, so no icing. O'Brien, pass to the line. McNab floats one back. It goes to Rick Smith. Smith, the pass ahead to Middleton. Just inside the line, and the Flyers come back out with it. Jim Watson across the line. Watson bumped on the boards by O'Brien, and O'Reilly was back, lost it in front of the net. That was close. And here's Watson near the blue line. Watson's backhand shot went off his skate and wide. The sticks are going high in front of the net. Lonsberry and O'Brien, they were fencing quite a while, and I think they'll both go off.
That looks like what John McCauley is signaling. Yeah, both off. A lot of adrenaline still flying around out there.
8 minutes, 11 seconds, first period. High sticking penalties go to O'Brien of the Bruins and Lonsberry of the Flyers. They're in the box, and the Count Daly is back on defense for the Flyers. Watch it now. Right in front of the goal area. The sticks came up.
Okay, Brian, and now we're set to go to the right of Cheevers. Nearing the 9-minute mark of the first period, there's no score in the game. And the teams are 5 aside. A little more open space now. Clarke, injured a little while ago, appears to be okay. He's back on with Barber. Brad Park bumping with Barber. Clarke comes in to help. Clarke has it. Nothing new there. Clarke gets it back to the line. LaPointe gets set screen shot. That went off a leg and bounced wide. Clarke again. He gave it to Barber to Daly. Daly took a shot and Cheevers came out to challenge him. He was out 15 feet on the shot. Back to the net into the corner for Park coming out. Here's Schmatz looking for the pass. And here it comes to Schmatz. Up over the line with Milbury. Stopped by Big Daly. And Park again comes back in. And they are offside at the Philadelphia line.
Well, I can't help but watching Bobby Clarke out there, Bob. He's obviously favoring one of his legs, and he really doesn't look that healthy at this stage in the game. He's coming off the ice in a considerable amount of pain. That's really a shame, and it'd be a shame to see the Flyers lose just because they lost the services of Bobby Clarke.
So Bob Daly has come back to the area just beside the Flyer bench, and again they're examining that right knee. He had it looked at earlier, and there's a good close look from our camera location just a few feet away. Daly 1 goal, 6 assists in the playoffs. If they lose this fellow, or he can't navigate the way he can to maneuver, and the same with Clarke, they're in real trouble here tonight.
Well, all of the bruises and the little hurts seem to turn into bigger ones because they've been playing for so long, and it's tough out there at this stage of the game.
Nearing the halfway mark of the period, Bladen had his pass deflected by Marcotte. Joe Watson has it up on the boards. Holmgren is stopped. He couldn't get very far. It's cleared across the line, and Ratelle plays it back to Park. There are 2 smoothies for you. Ratelle touched it out over the line, and the Bruins bring it in now. Milbury took a low shot. Perron stopped that. Milbury has it again. In for Ratelle. Ratelle going in. Oh! It went off Perron and Bladen and up over the goal. It looked like Ratelle had himself a goal. Look at Holmgren move it. He comes across center. Holmgren going up over the line. Breaks in with a hard shot, and he lifted that one wide. DuPont gets set. He got away from Ratelle. DuPont shoots one. Bad angle, and it was stopped by Cheevers. The penalized players are back on. The team's at full strength as DuPont breaks it up at center and shoots it back in. 10.5 minutes gone in the first period, and there's no score in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup semifinals here in Boston. And the Bruins leading in the series 3-1, going back to regroup, and Park in front of his own net for O'Reilly. A long pass to Cashman, coming in with Jonathan. A pass in front by Cashman doesn't work. Now it's Smith taking a shot. Cashman has it in the corner. He centered it. Here's O'Reilly, and he couldn't jam it by Perron. He didn't know where it was for a second. Then he realized it was beneath him.
Just a few moments ago, Bill, John Ratelle returned to the action for the Bruins, and he came awfully close. You can see him at the bench there, still nursing that injury that suffered on the first shift. But look at this, number 10, watch him, Ratelle, take this pass. He has a teammate with him. Tries to go around one defender and get it up, and he got it up all right, but somebody got a piece of it and up over the net.
Here's Smith's screen shot. Glanced away to the side of the net. Doak couldn't keep it in. The Bruins come back on side. Rick Smith played it ahead for Doak, who shoots it into the Philadelphia zone. And DuPont back to the goal on the boards for Kelly. Kelly was bumped hard by Holmgren. It's cleared out to center ice, though. And Doak has it. 11.5 minutes gone in the first period. No scores. Cashman played it in for Holmgren. Going in with O'Reilly. He backhands it into the corner. O'Reilly is after it on the other side. O'Reilly stopped by Kelly. They muscle each other, and it comes to the other corner again. Philadelphia, LaPointe, up to Lonsbury. He was stopped, but Jimmy Watson carries on with Kelly. Cashman after him. Kelly going for the net. A weak backhander was stopped easily by Cheevers. O'Reilly's pass is stopped by McLeish. He had a shot stopped. And now Jonathan, Cashman, and O'Reilly catching up. And it's O'Reilly with Jonathan. Cashman let it go back. Smith took a shot. That was deflected up high off the glass. No score in the first period. They played 12 minutes and 10 seconds as the Flyers come to center. Barber couldn't get his pass through. Now it comes to LaPointe, and Cheevers made a good save on LaPointe. And now ready for the face-off. No score in this first period. 6:29 remaining. They drop it in, and it goes to the corner. That's Smith playing it on the boards. LaPointe was jammed out of the play. Smith gets it up to center to McNab. 2-on-1 coming in. A pass to Wensink. inside. Set up beautifully by Peter McNab. Here's a drive by O'Reilly. Wensink again to McNab. Right in. Oh, you can crossbar. They did everything but put the puck in the net behind Bernie Perron. And you think that Wensink got an open goal. McNab waited and then hit the bar.
Two great chances for the Boston Bruins. First, Wensink missing the net after he was set up beautifully. Great pass from McNab. Just wide of the post, and then they came right back, and McNab from short range couldn't get it up over the pads of Bernie Perron, Bill.
Well, Peter McNab, you mentioned earlier that he can score goals. Notice how he moves back because he realizes that Perron is lying flat on the ice, and you just can't jam it through pads. He made the right play, but Bernie also made a heck of an effort.
What action around the Philadelphia net, but there is still no score in this hockey game. 6 minutes remaining in the first period. DuPont slaps at it. O'Reilly couldn't stop it, and Doak in the center ice area. Doak for Smith. Up on the wing for Wensink. He couldn't control it. It'll be a while before he forgets the opportunity he had. And the face-off is to the right of Perron. You see them lining up there in that big circle. No score. 4:30 remaining in the period. Smith let it go. And Schmatz was right in front of Perron, but covered by Joe Watson. Doak shoots it back in. It went by Watson. Perron stopped it for Bladen. Bladen couldn't move it out. Schmatz in forechecking with Ratelle. It comes back to the line. And Philadelphia starting out. This is Lonsberry on the wing. And it went by Leach. Then off the skate and down the ice. Bladen coming back for Philadelphia. Look out. It was bumped by Schmatz. Schmatz got it back to Smith. The screen shot. That was wide. Brad Park has it on his backhand and can't shoot it. Schmatz was bumped by Joe Watson. Now back to Schmatz again, and he's checked off the puck right away. Still trying to gain control of it. A foul in the corner. It comes back to Park. Here's a chance, and he waited too long. And Leach had a break, but fell down before he could get control of it. Park in his own zone with Smith up to center ice. Jonathan played it in, and of course, Perron steady enough. Cleared it out to the line. Here's Bobby Clarke, who's on again for Philadelphia, giving it another goal. But mind you, we understand Clarke has been injured in this period, but he's still out there. Now the Bruins, O'Reilly bumped. McNab, he fell down. They're roughing it up again. Clarke ran into O'Reilly. Here's McNab from the corner. Centered it, scrambled. O'Reilly knocked down another shot, scored. Milbury got the shot away up high, and it's 1-0 Boston. And this place is going crazy.
Mike Milbury racing in, elected to gamble on getting that puck, came in and got it well and put it up over Bernie Perron. The Bruins go in front 1-0 with 2:56 left. Here it is, Bill.
Fine play by Peter McNab. Dumps it out in front where there's a little bit of Bruin traffic. There's a slight pileup, and look where Mike Milbury shoots that puck. Do you think Bernie Perron had a chance at all? Right in the upper corner. He snapped it.
Well, he picked his spot because he had so many bodies in front of him. He had to be careful. They were right in front of him as we see McNab set it up.
Look who's there, Terry O'Reilly. Just a tremendous asset to this Bruin team.
Milbury with a beautiful shot up high. Here's Cashman coming in now. Cashman shoots. And Perron dropped that one beautifully. But it's 1-0 Boston on that goal by Milbury.
Mike Milbury has a lot of friends in this area. Born in Brighton, grew up in Walpole, Mass, graduate of Colgate University. I can't think of any other player from Colgate ever to make the NHL. Cherry said last year he thinks he's one of the 10 best defensemen in the NHL.
1-0. The Boston Bruins on Milbury's goal. Perron touched it into the corner for Lapointe. Lapointe on the boards, can't get by Schmatz. Coming in front is Jonathan and Ratelle. And Ratelle's shot was just wide. Milbury again. And this time he was wide with it. Park kept it in. Bruins with some more pressure on Philadelphia now. Park trying to keep it in with less than a minute remaining in the period. And they get a face-off just inside the line.
Bruins taking it to the Flyers. Now, while we have a break, let's take another look at that goal by Mike Milbury, Bill Clement. Set up by Peter McNab, who tried to dump it right in front. I think it hit a stick, went to O'Reilly, and then out to Milbury. Watch it again.
Well, we're just going to see the last bit of this, which is Milbury's shot. And that's a perfectly executed shot. Bernie didn't have a chance.
And that is why it's 1-0. Bernie didn't have a chance, at least on that one. Here's a play down to Bridgman. Bridgman into the corner. Hooked it over in front. McLeish didn't see that quick pass. Actually, it came off Cheevers. And now, the Flyers. McLeish going after it. Milbury is back, though. He's the Boston scorer of this first period. On the glass, down the ice. It's rolling over that line. And Dupont touching it so. Icing against Boston with 26 seconds remaining. Now we're getting a high sticking penalty. And that was Paul Holmgren. And here we go. Now we're getting it. Bridgman
and Jonathan. What a fight. Bridgman, well, you know him better than we do, Bill, but he is an awfully tough customer, and so is Jonathan, who winds up on top. Jonathan, just a little short fellow, but he really acquits himself well in the heavy going.
There are two tough customers. I believe Stan Jonathan gave Moose Dupont a shot that led to the penalty, which I do believe Jonathan is going to receive. And Mel Bridgman stepped in there to give Moose a hand. And as far as me knowing Mel Bridgman very well, the only thing I know about him is that I was traded for him.
Well, right now you got to look at Dupont, who is at the Flyer bench. The Flyers calling the referee, John McCauley, over to have a look. He was hurt in that exchange with Stan Jonathan.
Well, if the referee was being called over, it's probably because Dupont is cut.
Let's see how it happened. Here's Dupont going in against the boards. Here comes Jonathan.
Now this is where the high stick occurs, gentlemen, right here. Watch.
Well,
no, I do believe it was a right hook.
Perry O'Reilly fought with Bridgman in Philadelphia that night, got the worst of it. He said not only is he a terrific battler, but he's a tremendous hockey player. Really come along well since his rookie year. And again, we look at Bobby Clarke at the Flyer bench. Won't fill the swimming pool till the playoffs are over.
I still think it was a bad trade for Bridgman.
Here's the point. 12 seconds remaining. Marcotte up to the line. And Philadelphia in control. It's hammered off the glass by McLeish. 2 seconds left in the period. The Bruins controlling at their own blue line. A good first period of hockey. Turned into a little roughhouse tactics toward the end. Well, they'll settle down, no doubt. With the Bruins getting the only scoring play. Milbury got the goal, and so the score at the end of the first period is Boston 1, Philadelphia nothing. Over to the Philadelphia bench, and they're just getting a line. They have McLeish at center, Lonsberry, and Dornhofer. Correction, they're at full strength. They were coincident major penalties toward the end of the first period. So they're at full strength now. Bladen stopped at his own blue line. McLeish, number 19, has it. Playing it out over the line. Dornhofer was stopped by Rick Smith. McNab shooting it in. And Perron clearing it for Jim Watson. Watson played it ahead to Dornhofer. McNab took him out of the play, and Smith has it for Boston for Middleton. Middleton winding up at his own blue line. Here's Middleton with Rick Smith. He was stopped by Dornhofer. They rough it up right in front of us at the Boston blue line. Jimmy Watson, number 20, for Dornhofer. Smith went after him, and they both go down this time. Middleton carries on. Middleton slides it in front, and McLeish got checked before he could move it. Dornhofer, a high pass. Now Dornhofer again, but offside. O'Reilly went after Dornhofer on the play. Bill Clement, you told me that these Boston Bruins hit more than any team in the National Hockey League, and we're seeing some of it now.
I think consistently, Bob, game in and game out, that the Boston Bruins are, it's pretty well conceded by most of the players that they hit and take the body more regularly than any other team in hockey. But one player that takes the body all the time was that man, Gary Dornhofer. Here he is. He's always ready to rough it up. And I made reference to his elbows earlier in the game. Every one elbow that he throws out, he gives a dozen clean body checks, and is one of the greatest competitors I have ever had the opportunity to play with.
Brad Park for Milbury. Up to center ice. Wensink couldn't get it. Now, Milbury goes back in his own zone. He scored the Boston goal in the first period as Ratelle comes to center ice. Ratelle and Wensink on his left. Wensink going in. Couldn't make a play against Big Daly. And Daly takes over for... He lost it. Schmutz! A hard shot. Kicked out by Perron. Daly coughed it up to Schmutz. Kelly bounced one in on Cheevers. And Cheevers had some difficulty controlling it with a stick. Ratelle is bumped hard by Barber. Now Wensink overskating it at his own blue line. Cheevers again back of the net. Barber got a piece of him as he skated for the puck. And here's Ratelle again. Up with Schmutz on his right. Schmutz got the pass, but Wensink on the left wing was offside. Dave Hoyda is number 8. He's out of the left wing for Philadelphia now. Boston fans hollering for a penalty. Here's Hoyda after it. Hoyda bumped by Doak. Fell down. Couldn't get a pass back in front. Here's Kindrachuk around the net. Kindrachuk couldn't center it by Smith. And Smith bowled him over. The puck comes to center ice. We're getting penalties now. Kindrachuk and Smith want to go at it. Smith backs off a little bit. And the linesman Neil Armstrong and Claude Béchard are in there very quickly, but McCauley will be assessing penalties.
Kindrachuk, Bill Clement, isn't really much of a scrapper, is there? And I'm not sure that Smith is either.
Well, when Orr Kindrachuk first came into the league, he had his share of fights. He's a small man and had to establish himself, and he did very well. He is a good scrapper.
And the score is the Boston Bruins 1. And the Philadelphia Flyers no score. Now they're 5 aside as they line up near the center ice red line. Sheppard getting the draw back to Milbury. Milbury stopped by Barber, but here's Marcotte shooting it in. Back of the net, Perron stopped it for Jim Watson. Watson has the Flyers lined up to his left and right. And it's Tom Bladen having difficulty against the forechecking Bruins. So Watson goes into the corner. He nearly fell. Bladen rushed it over on the boards, and Kelly ran into Milbury. The Philadelphia Flyers having difficulty moving it out. Brad Clarke shoveled it ahead, but Kelly will clear it. Here they come. Kelly's pass to Barber. Barber going right in on goal. He scores! Barber made it look very, very easy. But he fooled Cheevers, Bill Clement, with that shot.
Believe me, it wasn't easy. He had, I believe it was Mike Milbury. He had Mike Milbury hanging all over him, and just to be strong enough to get the shot away and put the shot where he did. Here we see it. Milbury moves over, and at this point has the stick on Barber's arm, right up over Cheevers' shoulder, right in the same spot Milbury scored.
Well, Bill Milbury is a very articulate guest of Dave Hodge, was the victim of this shot by Barber. He got the stick up around Barber's shoulder, but not enough to prevent that shot from being released by Barber. Good shot, upper corner, a 1-1 tie now here in the second period.
Okay, and now the Bruins, Middleton coming right back. But Philadelphia this time getting back to cover up. A long rink-wide pass to McLeish at center ice. McLeish against Brad Park. And Park in his own zone being watched by Leach. LaPointe inside the line decides to wait for it, and Milbury takes advantage, moves down with Ratelle, but the Flyers get a break. Here's Leach coming in on Brad Park. Leach dropping it for McLeish. He shoots, and he put it right on with Cheevers covering on the short side. Now it's really opened up. Here's Park coming back with Ratelle and Milbury. Milbury dropped it back, and the Flyers falling was Leach. 2:56 the time in the Philadelphia goal. Here's Leach, he's onside. Oh, Cheevers came out and knocked it away from Leach, and he had a great opportunity. Ratelle is upended, and there's going to be a Philadelphia tripping penalty coming up now. McLeish had a great opportunity, and now he's going on for tripping. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Boston Garden.
You know, Leach has been in Fred Shearer's doghouse at time. In fact, he must have thought he was a candidate for the American Kennel Club at one time, Bill, but he had a good second half.
Here's Sheppard for Boston shooting it in. The score is tied 1-1. Nearing the 5-minute mark of the second period. Good hockey game, this number 5 of the Stanley Cup semifinals. O'Reilly coming in looking forward with McNab, who fell down, and they get a whistle. 2 players on the ice. There's O'Reilly, rugged individual, number 24. He's tough, Bill.
And this year, guess what? He turned into a point getter. A lot of points for a man who has worked at it and deserves everything that he gets. He stays out after practice and works, and when he accomplishes something, it's a good example for everyone.
There's the big clock at center ice, showing statistics, time remaining in the penalties. The score is tied. It's 1-1. 15:44 remaining in the second period, and a face-off to the right of Bernie Perron. And now, it's Sheppard getting set from the blue line. Sheppard takes a look, gives it to McNab. McNab all the way back to Clarke. He let it go. Score! A great shot by Brad Clarke. And he can really unload the puck from the blue line when he gets a chance to wind up like that. 2-1 Boston.
You know what I like about him, Bill? He doesn't take a real long wind-up. He just snaps that shot away. A little bit of a sort of a half slap shot. Let's watch.
He gets it away quickly.
Oh, he
You're
did.
right. He had to stop it with his skate even before he shot it.
Well, Park can do it every way, but he does it so quickly. You know, it's just a blur, that stick. I didn't believe it went back that far. And he unleashed that puck so quickly it was in the net. What a shooter.
Brad Clarke. And has he taken hold of this Boston team? 2-1 Boston. Here's Rick Smith shooting one in for O'Reilly. O'Reilly couldn't get the pass. It's cleared down the ice. And Cheevers stopped it. Now Hoyda failed to put it in. Down the ice it goes again. Icing this time was Bladen back to pick it up.
There's Don Cherry's record in Stanley Cup play. Brad Park has just scored his 5th playoff goal from McNab and Sheppard. And Bruins have now scored 8 power play goals in the playoffs. 4:29, the time of the goal.
Now O'Reilly shooting it from his own zone, not out. Long shot, tipped away by Cheevers. A big save off the point, that was. Here's O'Reilly coming in. O'Reilly played it in back of the net. Hoyda couldn't catch up to it, and he ran into Doak. Look out, did they hit each other. Hoyda and Doak. I think Doak has been shaken up, and he's going off. They're really roughing it up now. Look at him go. Up to center ice. Hinrichuk stops, and that put his winger offside. Holmgren ahead of the play.
I'd sure like to see a replay of Gary Doak's collision with Dave Hoyda.
I tell you, he hurt him. There he goes. Doak.
Well, that collision was really something. Here it is again, Bill. You ask for it, you get it. And that'll have them on their feet in the Dallas Hotel in Barhead, Alberta tonight, Dave Hoyda's hometown.
That rattles every bone in your body. All I could see from here was Hoyda receiving an elbow in the chops from Mr. Doak, but it looks like Gary Doak is shaken up as well.
I'll tell you, folks, we don't play the game, Brian and I. At least I don't. Brian still calls himself an old-time
Well, that hurt me from here.
hockey player, but I can look at Bill Clement, and when he saw that check, he was wincing up here in the broadcast booth. You could hear them hit.
It hurt me from here.
Okay, now it's Daly. And he was bumped by Ratelle, of all people. They're all throwing their weight around now. Ratelle a little out of character, going after Daly with a check behind the net. Nearing the 6-minute mark of the second period, and the Bruins lead it 2-1. Schmott's keeping it in, a bunt by Ratelle. Daly on the boards. Police, Ratelle stopped it in with Middleton. Ratelle! And he was stopped by Bernie Perron. Ratelle using the decoy, and Perron coming up big.
John Ratelle celebrating his 100th playoff game. He's had 3 really fine scoring chances already in the hockey game.
I don't know if he'll ever get old. Game in and game out, he comes to play and really doesn't hit that many people, as you mentioned earlier, and really does actually get hit very often out there. Guys seem to take runs at Jean Ratelle because he doesn't retaliate that much, but talk about a durable performer over the years.
And a classy performer, Bill. You look at him skating off. Doesn't he remind you a bit of Jean Beliveau in his great years with the Montreal Canadiens? And certainly they don't come any finer in the world than Jean Beliveau.
Boston 2, Philadelphia 1. Nearing the 7-minute mark of the second period. And here's Barber coming to center. Kelly going in after this one. Oh! And Cheevers made a big save on Kelly, who didn't quite get a lot on it. but he was going for the far corner. Sheppard shoots it from center ice, and Joe Watson. They watched by Marcotte and Cashman. It's kept in by O'Brien. Marcotte lost a chance to move it. Bobby Clarke is on again. He hasn't seen too much action in this hockey game. He was hurt in the first period. Now Clarke is bumped by Cashman. Kelly shoots one from center ice and was checked by Sheppard as he did. There's Cheevers stick handling. Look out, Cheevers! He nearly lost it. Here's Watson's shot. And it's Kelly. Back of the net. Tried to jam it in. Oh, and he missed the far post. Cheevers took a big chance stick handling in front of his own net when Kelly was cruising close. This crowd really buzzing now at the action. Here's Sheppard coming in for Boston, and his shot is deflected away up high at the far end.
Forward lines that I'm sure is designed to relieve Bobby Clarke of some of his skating responsibilities. He has him playing the left side, and he's letting Bill Barber play center, and that will relieve Clarke of some of his skating on that bad leg that he has.
So from the face-off, Philadelphia coming out. Holmgren bumped as he shoots it in. Milbury stopped him from moving up on it. Now it's Bridgman in the corner. Kindrachuk hooked it in front. It was blocked in front of the net by the Boston defense. Wensink missed the pass at his own line. Holmgren again with Kindrachuk, and he put it right on Wensink's stick. He shoots it on the boards, not out. It's kept in and cleared just wide of the Boston net. Here's Bridgman getting it in front of Holmgren, and he was stopped by Park in front of the goal. Wensink coming down with O'Reilly. O'Reilly fading to the right side, and then he goes into the boards, back of the net with Jimmy Watson, and there's no further play. Now right in front of the goal for Rick Smith. Smith on the boards, down to center ice. It's stopped by LaPointe. And finally, Boston clearing it back down to the Philadelphia zone, and Lonsberry from the corner looks for room and doesn't find it. Doak ran into him with a solid check. And another by Doak. So he was hurt a little while ago, at least shaken up. He seems to be okay again. Schmatz is bumped by McLeish. Schmatz then bumped by Bladen. Here's Ratelle back of the net. He comes out front with it. Ratelle centered it to Holmgren. And here's another chance, another to Jonathan. And Jonathan, right in front of the net, was jammed out of it by LaPointe. And LaPointe, Bill, is having a great second period for Philadelphia.
He's had a great playoffs.
There's another person who was in Fred Shearo's doghouse for a lot of the season, and given a chance to play, he's really shown his stuff. And who's twisting him around there? None other than the man we were speaking of earlier, Jean Ratelle. Always threatening.
Though we saw LaPointe in Game 3 at Philadelphia, and I thought he was just outstanding. And talking to some of the Flyers, they say he's never looked better for us. Came over from Detroit in a trade. Jean Ratelle, 71 points in 96 career playoff games.
9 minutes and 10 seconds gone in the second period. Boston 2, Philadelphia 1. That shot by Middleton off the leg and went wide. And it's Barber coming out. His pass didn't work at center ice for Joe Watson. Milbury, rink wide pass to Cashman. Cashman going in, shoots. That stopped the rebound to Middleton. And he couldn't control it. It went bouncing by him. Cashman went after it. Kelly took him in on the boards. Puck comes loose though to Bobby Clarke. A neat pass up the center ice. And it's Watson coming in. Jimmy Watson dropping it back to Joe Watson. His shot is stopped. And Middleton with Brad Clarke ahead to Sheppard. That's stopped by Joe Watson for Kelly. Couldn't reach it. Cleared by Milbury up to center. Philadelphia offside. Kelly was trapped inside the line a good 15 feet.
There's a good look at Ratelle on the bench. You remember he was injured on the very first shift when he bumped into Paul Holmgren, and that right eye, I believe, is almost closed tight. Look this way, John.
Well, he's so good he could probably play with one eye. It probably would distort some of his depth perception, but such a fantastic talent. Well, they have him keeping ice on it over there. It'll probably stay the way it is for the rest of the game.
Well, they had to give up something good in New York to get Esposito, and they gave up Ratelle, and it's just like your deal, Bridgman for Clement. You outscored him 20-16.
What's happened since then? Let's not talk about it.
From center, LaPointe shoots it in on the boards for Philadelphia. Holmgren trying to go around Rick Smith. Smith went after Holmgren again, and it's jammed back of the net. Holmgren got it loose, though. Smith whipped it on the glass. It comes out over the line, and LaPointe back in his own zone. 9:40 remaining in the second period. Boston 2, Philadelphia 1. Boston looking to wind up the series as McNab goes in with O'Reilly, shoots it right out. The rebound. O'Reilly ended up in the net. And Clarke made the big save on Peter McNab. Had a good shot on the short side. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Boston Garden. Well, they have 9:19 remaining in the second period. Boston 2, Philadelphia 1. And now, Philadelphia can't move it out. McNab tried to set up Marcotte. Joe Watson has it. Feeds it over for Holmgren. He's stopped by Marcotte. Bladen away from Riley with it. On the boards, it's Bladen again. O'Reilly ran into Holmgren. Kindrachuk's pass up to Joe Watson. His center ice. Bridgman played it over the line to Holmgren. He was stopped. Philadelphia keeping it in, though. Bladen looking for it. Bladen knocked into the boards by O'Reilly, and they get a whistle. 4 players causing that stoppage. 8:12 remaining in the second period. Boston 2, Philadelphia 1. Milbury opened the scoring in the first period, 17:04. Then Barber and Clarke. LaPointe shoots one in, high off the glass. Rich Smith couldn't move it out. Leach kept it in. Fight over on the other side. Kelly is pumping the right arm very swiftly. Cashman trying to get loose. This is going to be a good one.
It's shaping up to be a good one already. Bob Kelly has that big left arm wrapped around Wayne Cashman's head, and Cashman seems to be unable to move. And being left-handed, he's sort of tied up there. If Cashman were right-handed, he might be able to do some damage. Kelly definitely has the advantage at this point, and we just can't see what's going on, but there is some damage being done.
They're letting them go.
Well, they don't have far to go when they do move in. They're right outside the penalty box door. Kelly and Cashman.
Well, the referee, John McCauley, felt that's time enough, gentlemen, get in. Referring, of course, to the linesman, and now Neil Armstrong is flat on the ice under Cashman. There's Neil Armstrong getting back up.
Cashman and Kelly. They're tired.
Oh, boy.
Cashman has a bruise or a mark on his cheek.
Well, major penalties to Kelly of Philadelphia and Cashman of the Boston Bruins. And Bobby Clarke comes back out again, number 16 for Philadelphia against Sheppard. Clarke got the draw. LaPointe shoots it in back of the net is Rick Smith. Smith stopped by McLeish. McLeish back of the net for Clarke. Clarke around the goal. He was checked. Clarke still fighting for it. Now it comes in front. And a high shot by McLeish went over the top of the Boston. Another shot, this time a low drive. Stopped by Smith. Smith trying to move it out. The Flyers with some pressure on now. Daly keeping it in, but Doak would clear it. On the boards for Schmatz, and it comes to center ice. Boston nearly getting away. Sheppard, he was stopped though. Here's Leach after it. Leach against Smith. Puck rolls loose for Sheppard. Sheppard for Boston up to Schmatz. One man back. Bobby Schmatz coming in with Middleton. And Perrott made the stop, and the rebound was grabbed by Daly. Clarke at center, stopped by Sheppard. Sheppard coming in. You can tell Bobby Clarke having great difficulty skating. LaPointe dropping it for Daly. Daly on the boards for Leach coming to center. Here's Leach across the line with McLeish. Leach going in, and he was upended before he could get his shot away. Now it's Kindrachuk looking around. Back of the net it goes for LaPointe. Sheppard ran into him heavily. Kindrachuk with the shot. Rebound! That was knocked away by Middleton, or rather Milbury, just before it crossed the line. It was heading for the net. Here's LaPointe shooting one, score! LaPointe took the shot. It was deflected, I think, in front of the net. But, you know, Brian and Bill, the last 2 minutes, it's been all Philadelphia.
You're right. They have really played a strong second period here, and McLeish and Kindrachuk almost scored just before this one trickled into the corner. We'll wait to see who gets official credit for it. Holmgren is 17, Kindrachuk 26, but LaPointe shot through traffic. Was it redirected? It may have been by Kindrachuk. At any rate, it's a 2-2 tie with 6:20 to play.
You know, the Flyers are a hated team by many fans. They are accused of using over-aggressive tactics, but you really can't deny the fact that they are a team which plays with drive and desire every time they step on the ice, and they deserve some credit for that. You can't take that away from them.
I'll tell you, Bill, they showed a lot of heart in the last minute and a half. They just kept going for that tying goal. You could almost tell they had to score, and they did. Kindrachuk got the goal. He, in fact, tipped it in. LaPointe took the shot from the blue line. It's tied 2-2. Holmgren breaking for the net. He couldn't center it. Now he does. Scores! Kindrachuk again, knocking it by Cheevers, and Philadelphia have gone ahead 3-2.
What a stunning show by the Flyers here in a matter of seconds as Kindrachuk scores a pair. He deflected that one right past Cheevers. We'll get the time between the goals, something like 11 seconds. 11 seconds, Kindrachuk scores 2 goals. There it is.
There's the goal. Now we're back to the live action. It's 3-2. Philadelphia leading for the first time in the game. 5:50 remaining in the second period. Holmgren ran into Milbury. Bladen in his own zone. It's in the center ice area. McNab gave it to Milbury. Milbury going in with O'Reilly and McNab. McNab shoots one, a low shot. Hit Jim Watson. And it's hooked high in the air down to center ice. Milbury saw it all the way and gave it to O'Reilly. O'Reilly got away from the check thrown by Holmgren. Now Jim Watson for McLeish winding up, and can he skate when he gets room? He shoots it off the boards as the Flyers change with the play going on, and it's jammed on the boards now loose, and O'Reilly brings it out. O'Reilly down to Marcotte. That was stopped, and Marcotte failed to move in with McLeish taking over. McNab watching him. McLeish dropping it back for the point, coming out of his own zone. He was stopped by McNab. McNab's pass too far for Schmatz, and LaPointe was stopped by Schmatz. He moved it with his glove as he fell, and then McLeish knocked down. Here's a chance from the line, and a long shot by Doak went off his skate and wide. Down the ice behind Cheevers. He's out of the net again. Dornhofer couldn't keep it in. It's in the center ice area. The Flyers hurriedly getting onside, and Marcotte ran into his man LaPointe, then got a return check on the boards. Marcotte still handling it though. Over for Schmatz. Schmatz at the line. Hooked the high one in wide to the Philadelphia net. Philadelphia leading in the game 3-2 here in the second period. With 4:15 remaining. It's cleared to the line and out over. Jonathan couldn't keep it in. Here's Doak, number 25. He shoots it in. LaPointe taking his time going back. He rolled it on the boards. Dornhofer was stopped by Ratelle, but now McLeish backhands it down to the Boston line. Here's Rick Smith's pass to Schmatz going wide. Over his stick, and Perrand out of the net to grab it and hang on to it. Here in the second period, and they're up by a goal now. Milbury from the corner, out to the line for McNab. McNab's pass going in to Schmatz, and he was knocked down, and Perrand hangs on to it. You'll hear the fans now going, but Schmatz was breaking in at great speed and was knocked off stride. Here it is.
Well, not only can Bobby Schott shoot the puck with the best in the National Hockey League, but he skates as well as almost anyone. Just made it around Mel Bridgman, but I think Mel got a piece of him, and Bernie made the right play. He knew he was in trouble, and see how far out of the net he comes to cut down Schmatz's angle.
Looks a bit like his mentor, Jacques Plante, on that play. He used to stop him like that.
Here's Bladen, number 3, back of the net, around the goal. He came in front of the net dangerously, but moved it out in time. Holmgren for Philadelphia. Holmgren is stopped at center ice. Kindrachuk was offside, up over center. It'll come back. 2:22 remaining in the second period. Philadelphia coming from behind to tie and then take the lead on Kindrachuk's 2 goals. It's 3-2 as you look at Fred Sherrill at the Philadelphia bench. McNab, number 8, getting the draw. But Bladen, a pass for LaPointe. LaPointe to center. Milbury stopped it. And now Bridgman shoots it in for Philadelphia, and Clarke is back quickly. Clarke against Holmgren. On the boards, went by Marcotte. McNab is after it. McNab going in with shots. Right in! Bobby Scott set up brilliantly by McNab, and it's 3-3.
This whole building is rocking now. Just over 2 minutes to play. The Bruins come back to get the tie. Nice little move by Schmotz in front of Bernie Perron.
Well, Peter McNab makes the play here. Watch this pass. Perfect pass across to Schmotz, who fakes the shot and has Bernie completely to one side of the net. All he had to do was stuff it in his backhand.
Here's that move again.
No doubt Bernie's anticipating the shot. He's out to cut down that angle, and once Schmotz makes his move, Bernie's just too far to the one side to get any piece of it at all.
Schmotz has 10 goals against the Flyers in 9 games this year.
And that's one of the prettiest.
Indeed it was.
A great goal by Schmotz and McNab. McNab setting it up, and it's 3-3. Long shot, tipped away by Bernie Perron. Kelly waits for it to come back down. Kelly bumped by Cashman. Their penalty's over, and they're bumping again rather heavily on the boards. 1:33 remaining in the period. Boston with some pressure on now. Lonsbury backing up in his own zone against Daly. McLeish in the corner, bumped by Cashman. They go off stride, and again they hold it. And another face-off coming up now. Cashman is pushing with Jimmy Watson, and you can see all the players milling around. It wouldn't take much to get them going. But you know, Bill Clement, I don't know if the fans can ever get the feeling. You're a hockey player. You've had this feeling. Here you are playing in the Stanley Cup semifinal. There are 18 teams in the National Hockey League, and to get this far, and now you look at the Stanley Cup final, and who knows what'll happen then. You've got to have that pressure.
The pressure is great, and it's difficult to restrain yourself at times, and it is the disciplined professional athlete that can restrain himself and not let himself get away out there and start taking stupid penalties. You see a lot of shoving, a lot of pushing, but nobody wants to be the one that puts his team at a disadvantage at this stage of the game.
A lot of bumps and bruises and cuts on those faces. I hope they took their team picture before the playoffs, because there have been a lot of people nursing minor injuries and a couple of major injuries, I'm sure. Perhaps we don't know as much about as we could.
Well, these teams have come a long way, as we've said, and here they are in the 5th game of the semifinal. The Montreal Canadiens defeating the Leafs in 4 straight, sitting back at home waiting for the winner of this series. And it's Philadelphia coming in. Here's Kelly with Barber. Ratelle broke it up and cleared it down the ice. Barber was back. Barber at his own blue line, coming to center with McLeish. He didn't get very far. Cashman in with Ratelle. Ratelle gets set. 1 minute left in the second period. Kelly couldn't move it out. Ratelle took a shot, and it bounced up high, and LaPointe knocked it away with his glove. Here's Milbury. He took a shot, a low one, nowhere near the net. And Barber coming out for Philadelphia. Barber's long pass, stopped by McLeish. One man back, McLeish. Can he get through? No. He's knocked down by Milbury, and Clarke ahead for Ratelle with Jonathan on his left. And Ratelle is stopped at the Philadelphia blue line, and the play is called with 32 seconds remaining in this hectic second period of a real good hockey game. The score is tied 3-3. Perron has been good tonight, Bill.
I don't think we can fault him on any of the goals yet.
19 seconds. Sheppard got it back. Milbury took a shot, and he stopped that one on the short side. That was a good save. It was partially screened. 12 seconds left for Park. And Schmotz, he shoots it in. On the left side is Marcotte centering it. And that was a close call with 4 seconds left in the period. And there it is, the siren, ending the second period. And it was wide open. One team, then the other, taking the advantage in territorial play. A great period. And so the score at the end of the second period, Philadelphia 3, Boston 3. Tied it at 2:56. Then Clarke for the Bruins at 4:29. Kindrachuk, 2 goals, 13:40, 13:51. And Schmotz tied it 17:58. So 3-3 as we go to the third period. At center ice, here's Daly skipping in. Daly gets a chance to roll it back, and he does. Dornhofer put it to the blue line. Jimmy Watson over on the other side. And the quick shot by McLeish was blocked. Ratelle on the boards. They can't get it out. Now at the blue line and just over it, they hold it along the boards, and the play is called. 30 seconds have been played in the third period. It's been quite a hockey game, Bill Clement.
The pace has been unbelievable, and I think we'll see lots more in this period.
Well, let's see as Jimmy Watson backhands it into the Boston zone. Back of the net, Cheevers up on the corner boards. For Middleton, he was stopped by McLeish. Rick Smith had him covered. Near the line, it's Daly keeping it in. Philadelphia coming out, looking for the lead goal. Here in the early going of the third period. It's down to the Philadelphia line where Lonsbury has it. For Jim Watson. Watson's pass to Daly. Daly to Dornhofer, and he was going to change and didn't see it. Now it's Smith coming out. A long pass stopped by Kinrachuk. Kinrachuk played it up to Lonsbury. Lonsbury back in his own zone. Doak chasing him. Now two forechecking Bruins are in. O'Reilly and Ratelle. But it's Kinrachuk for Daly at center. Daly's pass knocked down by Holmgren. He couldn't control it. Daly will try it again, coming up with Bridgman. Here's Bridgman on the left, getting set. The weak shot is stopped by Cheevers. Doak took a swipe at it, and it goes all the way down the ice, and LaPointe is coming back. That's icing against the Boston Bruins.
Well, the way these clubs are going and looking at the scoreboard, you have to start thinking soon about overtime. Boston has been involved in 32 previous playoff semifinal rounds, a record of 14 wins and 18 losses. The Flyers have been involved in 18 overtime games during their 11-year history, a record of 11 wins and 7 losses.
A minute and 36 seconds gone in the third period. Score tied, 3-3 as Clarke behind the net for Milbury. His long pass stopped by LaPointe at center ice of Philadelphia for Bridgman coming in. Bridgman moved it across the line. Kinrachuk, though, was a little slow in getting back out, and he was offside.
Bruins overtime record, 60 games played, 23 wins, 34 losses, and 3 ties.
Philadelphia, Fred Sherrill wants Leach on with Barber and Kelly. Bill, Kelly can get any team going.
He certainly can, especially the Flyers, since he's the guy that's their main spark plug out there.
At center, Bladen knocked it down. Jonathan helped him. Offside, it appeared as if Leach had a break, but didn't.
I'm talking about Bob Kelly. Bob, he is probably one of only a couple of players in the National Hockey League who have that rare ability to change the complexion of a game entirely in one shift. When the Flyers are down and dragging, sometimes he goes out there and just lifts the whole team up single-handedly. That's why he's so valuable to this team.
I want to ask you a question about that in a second. There's our second. Does Sherrill tell him to go out there from the bench?
Well, I played junior hockey against Bob Kelly, and he's been playing that style for a long time. He's always gone out there and just been like a buzzsaw out there, banging into people and going all over the ice. He's never been accused of being a good positional player, but he has so many other assets that they let him do it.
So what you're telling me is Sherrill decides the game needs a little lift, so he just sends him out. He knows he's going to do it.
That's right.
Okay, here's the stop by Cheevers. Cheevers played it up to Sheppard, and here's Cashman at center. Cashman going in with Jonathan. Jonathan gets the shot, and Bernie Perron has been deflecting those shots beautifully with the stick tilted a little bit. It's way up into the crowd. 4 minutes and 40 seconds gone in the third period. The 5th game of the Stanley Cup semifinal, with the Bruins leading the series 3-1. And Philadelphia and Boston tied now in this third period, 3-3. Here's Sheppard hooking one in where Perron grabs it. And they'll do it all over again to the left of Bernie Perron in the Philadelphia net. Kelly with Bobby Clarke. Daly. And there's Clarke along with Barber, and it's Kelly coming out. Kelly rolled it over on the boards. He's chasing after it. Kelly tries to break in by Smith. Kelly back of the net with Barber. Barber gets in front. Barber still with it. Barber to Kelly. That didn't work. Rick Smith had him covered this time. Sheppard shoots it on the boards. Kelly couldn't stop it. It bounced to the line. Now Rick Smith looks around, feeds it up to center. Barber knocked it down, but Smith has it again. In with Cashman. Cashman and Jonathan breaking for the net. Jonathan trapped behind the goal. Cashman can't move after it, but Sheppard is in first. And Jimmy Watson on the ice held it, and the play is called. There's Kindrachuk, number 26, who scored 2 goals for Philadelphia in the second period to give them a lead until Schmotz tied it up. 3 threes to score nearing the 6-minute mark of the third period. Here's McNab keeping it in. He centers it. It comes to the line. Milbury took the shot. It's deflected. McNab has it again. McNab all over the zone. A play back to Milbury. He's stopped by Bridgman. Bridgman coming out with Holmgren and a neat pass for Kindrachuk. Kindrachuk going in. He's stopped by Brad Park. Joe Watson kept it in. It's cleared out over the line to Marcotte coming to center. Marcotte takes a long shot off the boards in the corner. And Watson played it ahead for Philadelphia, but it's not out of the zone. Park kept it in. Bridgman again moved it up to the center ice area. Here's Bladen. Back to the line. Cashman stopped to McNab. McNab took it. Milbury took a shot, and that was wide. Brad Park winding up at the blue line. He lets it go, and that was off a stick and wide. Marcotte goes down, and a goal out. They score. Marcotte slapped it in high before Perron could find it. And the Bruins take a 4-3 lead.
There's Bedlam in the Boston Garden now as the Bruins off the bench swarm around Don Marcotte. Bill Clement, he got that puck just up. I thought it bounced off the crossbar and then into the net.
I think it may have hit the crossbar. Brian Clement hit Bernie in the back and gone in the net, but the thing to note here is that the Bruins had constant pressure, and it finally did come out to Marcotte. If it hadn't been Marcotte, it could have been somebody else. They just swarmed all over the Flyers for that goal.
We'll get a look at it from this angle. I think maybe you're right. It did hit Perron first, then the bar up above. Let's see. Here's the rebound. It'll come a bouncing puck out to Marcotte. The shot on its way. Perron got a piece of it up underneath.
It actually did enter the net on its original path.
So it's 4-3 now. Boston leading again. And Philadelphia outside of the Boston blue line. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Boston Garden. From McNab and Cashman at 6:18. And it's 4-3 Boston. So they're coming up to the 7-minute mark of the third period. As Cheevers grabbed the long one. Smith cleared it off Middleton's stick. Daly at his own blue line up to McLeish. McLeish coming down to center. McLeish plays it in for Lonsberry. Here's Lonsberry into the corner against Rick Smith and Jean Ratelle. Right back out for the Boston Bruins. His pass jumped over the stick of Middleton. This will be icing as Jim Watson picks it up.
Bill Clement, you talked about discipline earlier, and when a bouncing puck comes out like that on a rebound, the temptation is to whack at it. I thought Marcotte showed good restraint here. Watch him, 21.
Well, one thing that I haven't been able to understand is why Bernie kicked the rebound right out to him. It was a dangerous place to put the rebound, and you're right. Marcotte just waited, and Bernie was still down and right into the top of the net. You know, having played in a number of playoff games, it hurts me to see the Flyers sitting on the bench because I've been in this position, and it's really scary when you think you got 13 minutes to play, and you know you could wake up tomorrow morning and have your whole lifestyle change so drastically. It's all over. If everything's over, and for a minute, if you don't concentrate on the game completely, it gets scary out there.
Well, let's see if they can tie it up again. They played 6:59 of the third period. The Bruins are up by a goal. Here's Kelly's backhand shot. Kelly had a great chance earlier on a breakaway. Here's LaPointe shooting. Kelly is knocked down in front of the net. The Bruins come back. Jonathan coming in. Jonathan puts the brakes on near the boards. Jonathan in for Cashman. Cashman back of the net. Comes in front. He centered it, but nobody was there to get a stick near it. Back for Brad Park in his own zone. Kelly in watching him. And Park got a pass up the center. Bladen knocked it down. And it's cleared back for Jonathan. Jonathan up for Cashman. He didn't get the pass. Stopped by LaPointe. LaPointe picks his way through. LaPointe nearly got all the way. Here's Clarke back for LaPointe and the Bruins. Brad Park, a pass to Cashman, one man back. He's in with Jonathan. Cashman couldn't get the shot. Here's another chance. And his backhander was weak and stopped in front of the net. Bladen went after it. So did Cashman. They fight for possession, and Kelly was there to bring it out. Kelly's pass out to Kendrichuk, and center is Jonathan. He stopped it, backhands it into the zone again. And LaPointe up the ice at center. He'll shoot it from there. And Cheevers grabbed that one and knocked it down for Milbury. Jonathan on the boards to center ice. Mott's a stop. Now Philadelphia waiting for Holmgren to come back on side. He didn't wait long enough. Kendrichuk didn't, and Holmgren was offside.
We have a report on Moose DuPont. He's been taken to the Massachusetts Eye and Ear Infirmary, and they'll check on his left eye.
And now the Bruins coming on with Middleton on the left side. Ratelle comes into center ice. Neil Armstrong, the linesman, dropping it in. And it comes back near the boards. McLeish keeping it in. Ratelle in the corner. He's bumped by Dornhofer. Dornhofer got him off the puck, but then Milbury holds it. It's knocked loose again. Milbury once more. Will they get a whistle? Yes, they do this time. And they'll get another face-off in the Boston zone. Bill Clement, I don't suppose with a one-goal lead, the Bruins would tend to try to nurse that at this stage with them, where they're leading 3-1 in the series.
Well, we talked about this last game in Montreal. Everybody knows that they have to carry the play to the other team, but the natural tendency is to go into a shell. It'll be interesting to see if they can avoid doing it.
The puck goes flying into the Boston zone. Hoyda is on again. He gets loose in the corner, took a check, but got a pass back to LaPointe. LaPointe ahead for McLeish. In for Hoyda, went by him though. In back of the net. Clarke ran into Dornhofer back there. Up the line, Middleton moved it out. Philadelphia got it in, and Clarke got it out to O'Reilly a second time. He shot it off the board. Bladen back of the net. A jam back there. O'Reilly back for Milbury. Milbury gets set into the corner for O'Reilly. O'Reilly stopped on the boards. Now Ratelle put a shot on Perron, and Bernie Perron stopped it, making the stick save. And then he held it with 9:59 remaining in the third period. Boston 4 and Philadelphia 3. This has been quite a hockey game from the opening whistle.
A lot of noise in here tonight, and the winner of this series will go on to meet the Montreal Canadiens. And for Montreal, it'll be their 25th time in the final series.
Gee, that is
You're a little bit ahead of Atlanta.
only 25 years.
The Bruins, every man up. It's cleared into the corner. Perron out of the net back there, tipping it for Kelly. Kelly took a check from Cashman. They served fighting majors earlier in the game, Kelly and Cashman. What a brawl that was from close quarters. Now it's Rick Smith coming in with Cashman. A long pass went in wide of the net. Joe Watson back of the goal. He left it for Jimmy Watson. He played it on the boards, and Kelly was stopped by Sheppard. Couldn't move on it. It'll be icing as Doak touches it behind Cheevers. Philadelphia have Barber at center ice to take this face-off in his own zone. Jimmy Watson has moved up to the rim of the circle on the left side. Kelly, Daly, and Leach. On the right side, it goes to Daly. He cleared it right away. And Rick Smith on the defense with Gary Doak racing back. Cheevers out of the net, scooped it up, gave it to Cashman. Cashman is stopped. The Flyers keep it in. Here's Kelly in the corner. Kelly didn't have anybody to pass it to. The Bruins covering everybody with a blanket. And it's Cashman, a long pass for Jonathan. That went behind him and off the boards. Daly out for Kelly. Kelly coming down against Doak. Shoots it in high to the left of Cheevers. Milbury couldn't clear it out. Daly kept it in. And now Milbury again, stopped by Kelly. Kelly got loose. Two Bruins collided. Cashman and Sheppard. Cashman is slow getting up inside that Boston line. He has to go up. There's Wayne Cashman. And he, I think, has been injured.
Well, that's one of those things that happens every once in a while. Two teammates collide. In this case, Cashman and Sheppard. And Cashman was certainly rocked by that collision. Usually, Bill, when this happens, you don't see your teammate coming.
That's exactly right, Brian. You're conscious of the fact that the opposition is going to try and hit you out there, but when two teammates collide, it can lead to serious injury since you're never expecting it.
Well, this has been a bruising, fast skating hockey game. They've been flying out there, folks, and they're coming again. Here's the point that he went flying himself at the Boston blue line. Bladen will try it now. Philadelphia have to pull out the stops now to try to get back into this game and this series. Here's a long shot stopped by Cheevers. 8 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the third period. McNab can't get to it quickly enough. The point in front of his own net coming out against McNab. He stops. McNab roots at it and knocked it in behind the Philadelphia goal. Bladen is back. Now 8 minutes remaining in the third period. Here's Melbury for McNab. And he took the shot. A weak one. It's deflected wide. Marcotte back of the goal. LaPointe has it. LaPointe has some difficulty against Marcotte. And now Bladen's high pass hit Holmgren. He couldn't control it. That's out the center anyway. Bridgman has stopped. Now McNab going in. Shoots through. McNab. And it's 5-3 Boston. What an opportunist.
Peter McNab has 5 points tonight. 1 goal and 4 assists. And the crowd giving him a standing ovation.
That's not bad for a man that's been accused of only being able to score goals. He set up some pretty goals tonight and has just played a superb game. An opportunist or not, he has the ability to lead an offensive drive and to really do something every time he enters the offensive zone. He's obviously a dangerous threat every time he's out there.
Well, we'll look at it from this angle, Bill. Puck on its way now. McNab, center of the net. And it's 5-3. The Bruins in front. 1 goal and 4 assists in the scoring tonight for Peter McNab. Max McNab, his dad down in Washington, will be very proud of his son. And a hoot and a holler goes up in the Boston Garden for Peter McNab and the Boston Bruins. They now have a 2-goal bulge over the Philadelphia Flyers.
Well, that's a big goal for Peter McNab and the Boston Bruins. And the Bruins have that 2-goal cushion now. And play is called at center ice. 7 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the third period. With the Boston Bruins leading 5-3, Peter McNab taking advantage of an opportunity near the Philadelphia line to go in and beat Bernie Perron at 12:22 of this third period. And that could be a big goal. Bill Clement, you mentioned the Philadelphia Flyers a while ago. Now, our broadcast position is just behind them. We're only about 30 feet away. And you look down at the Flyers, and they look very low now. 7:10 remaining in the third period. But you never know in this game of hockey. Anything can happen. Down the ice it goes again, and Philadelphia will get another opportunity with that face-off up into the Boston zone.
That goal by McNab was unassisted at 12:22. Bill?
Here it is. He's got a great wrist shot. He shoots it low, perhaps between Bernie's legs. Bernie made the right play. Once again, he's out in position to cut down the angle, but gee, somehow he found an opening there. We'll never know how.
You have to admire a young fella growing up in San Diego and wanting to play the game so badly, taking all the practice time he can get at a disadvantage behind Canadian kids and kids in the northern states, then going on to college and from there to the Buffalo Sabres. Free agent exchange to the Boston Bruins. He's big, he's strong, he's worked awfully hard on the skills of hockey. You hear Howie Meeker talk about the skills. Here's a guy that really works at it.
6:59 remaining in the third period. And you can hear the fans in the background, quite probably, chanting a song or two in favor of the Bruins. There it is. Down into the Philadelphia zone. This Boston crowd is really something else. The Philadelphia Flyers down 2 goals. Making another effort, but stopped at center ice was Barber. Sheppard is coming in now. Here's Sheppard with Cashman in front of the net being upended. And it's Kelly racing right back with McLeish on the right side and couldn't get Barber's pass. Jonathan for Boston. In was Sheppard. Right in front of the net, Sheppard was covered. And Tom Bladen for the Philadelphia Flyers. Out with Leach. At center, he shoots a long one in wide of the net. They pour in after it, but Clarke takes over. Brad Clarke played it in off a stick to the corner, and McNab knocked it down the ice. And now, 5:55 remaining in the third period. Can Philadelphia fight back? They're down 2 goals. It's Boston 5 and Philadelphia 3. Here's Schmotz. Schmotz shooting! And that shot, a hot one, was wide of the short side of the net. The Bruins keep it in, though, thanks to Milbury's work along the boards. Daly in the corner. The Bruins changing on the go. Daly's pass was stopped. McNab again nearly stole it. Now Kindred-Chuck winding up inside his own line. Kindred-Chuck, a pass down, bounced off. Holmgren over the boards at the Bruins bench. And now we have 5:25 remaining in the third period. It's 5-3 Boston, live from the Boston Garden, the Stanley Cup playoffs. From the face-off near center ice, it's Doak, number 25, coming in for Boston. They clear it in back of the net. Schmotz overskated it. And coming out is Jimmy Watson for Kindred-Chuck. Stopped by McNab. Briefly, Kindred-Chuck got it again and shoots it in. Rich Smith with a high stick made contact. We mentioned a little while ago, Brian and Bill Clement, about the Bruins going into a shell. They're certainly not in a shell now. They got a goal. That was a little bit of a break when McNab stole that puck, but they've been coming on for more.
Well, still the Bruin defensemen are meeting the Flyers on the blue line, and you talked about a possible comeback. I doubt very much that the Flyers can come back, namely because Bobby Clarke is sitting down on the bench. He's very ineffective with that injury. If Bobby Clarke was out there, anything might happen, but while the Flyers have some great players and great shooters, the Bruins seem to be in control with 5 minutes to play.
Cheevers grabbed that high one. And he gets a hand from the crowd. There's Jerry Cheevers, Bill.
Well, Bob, with the Flyers staring in the face of elimination now, I can tell you that there's an empty feeling, which is almost a sickening feeling in their whole bodies, and it's just spreading right across the bench right now. With 5 minutes to go, they're 2 goals down, and as I mentioned earlier, they're going to go through a little lifestyle change early tomorrow morning if they can't come up with 2 goals quickly, and it's a sick feeling.
Well, to come up with 2 goals the way the Boston Bruins have been playing here in this hockey game, and especially here in this third period, that's a tough task. Here's Layton shooting one. That was tipped wide. But the momentum has changed in this game both ways. First Philadelphia, then Boston. Back and forth like that, so you never know. They have 4:45 remaining. Lots of time. It's cleared into the Boston zone and out again as Cashman got a stick on it. McLeish for Hoyda, too far. Layden for LaPointe. LaPointe shoots it in. 4:30 remaining in the third period. Milbury after it. He was bumped. They hold it on the boards in the corner in the Boston zone to the left of Cheevers. And the play is called. Barber, Kelly, Leach, Jim Watson, and Daly. 5 fresh ones come from the bench for Philadelphia.
Well, they might look fresh from here.
I was going to say, how fresh can you be in this third period at this stage?
Well, as Don Cherry put a little needle into the reporter's hide before the game, he was talking about a poll they conducted in one of the hockey magazines. The best this, the best that. And he says, nowhere out of 24 categories do I see a Boston Bruin. He said, we don't have the best forechecker, the best shooter, the best defenseman. We must have done something right to get this far.
That's not bad. They have one of the best teams. That's all that counts.
That's right.
4:22 remaining in the third period. Bruins. Don Marcotte can't get it out. Barber for Leach. He couldn't get a shot. Milbury. He played it off the stick down the ice. Right on the net. Perron stopped it. Now Jimmy Watson ahead for Kelly. Kelly moved it into the Boston zone. Brad Clarke back there for the Boston Bruins. And with less than 4 minutes remaining now in the third period, the Bruins, you can sense, are tasting it. A berth in the Stanley Cup final against the Montreal Canadiens. They pile into the corner in the Philadelphia zone, and now 3:49 remaining, and the Bruins lead it 5-3.
I asked Don Cherry earlier in the year if there was a team capable of knocking off the Montreal Canadiens, and without hesitation, he said, yeah, I think we can do it. They put us out and more or less humiliated us last year, And it'll be a different story this time around. So it shapes up as an interesting final with 3:49 to play. Not that we're conceding this game just yet to Boston, but it looks very much as though they're going to advance to Montreal Saturday night.
Well, Doak is on for the Bruins with Rick Smith, the two defensemen. Peter McNab, who's been a standout. Here he is at center ice, number 8, with Schmotz and Marcotte. Doak keeping it in. Schmotz back to the net in the corner. Kindrachuk has it for Philadelphia. He dropped it. And the Bruins send in 3 men now. 2 of them forechecking deep. Going to be tough to get it going, Philadelphia, but here they come with this effort led by Kindrachuk. Kindrachuk shoots it in. Wide of the net. Cheevers out of the goal. Up on the glass high. The players keep it in, though. Holmgren along the boards. A pile of players there, but it comes to center ice. Now Bridgman gets it again at his own blue line. Stopped by Marcotte. He shoots it into the Philadelphia zone. And now they have 3 minutes remaining in the third period. 5-3 Boston. LaPointe strong shot wide of the net. Rick Smith let it go by him off the boards, and here's Sheppard coming in. He's in with Jonathan stopping in the corner. Jonathan then taken out of the play by Daly. Kindrachuk comes out. Away from Cashman he goes. Kindrachuk played it in for Bridgman. 2:40 remaining. Here's Daly closing in. Can't get control of it. A 2-man break. One is back. Cashman for Jonathan. And he couldn't set it up. Here's Sheppard. And his shot whipped wide. A hard drive high and wide of the Philadelphia net. 2:25 remaining in the third period. McLeish making a great effort, but he couldn't get by the second defenseman, Milbury, who's played a good game for Boston tonight. Opened the scoring, and he's been solid back there defensively. Here's Leach. He got away from Milbury, though, this time. Cheevers out of the net. Will hold it now. And they get a whistle with 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the third period.
McNab has 5 points for the Bruins tonight. That's 1 shy of the record held by Dickie Moore, Phil Esposito, Darryl Sittler, and Guy Lafleur.
And now 2 minutes remaining in the third period. The Bruins that far away from advancing against the Canadiens of Montreal, the defending Stanley Cup champions. Here's Ratelle for Marcotte. And Perrott came up big again on that save. Middleton keeps it in for Ratelle. Ratelle bumped by Bladen. McLeish has it. 1:40 remaining in the third period, ladies and gentlemen. Philadelphia trailing by 2 goals and trying desperately to get something going. But look, they cannot. The Bruins forechecking. Marcotte, his shot wide of the Philadelphia net. Middleton is in after McLeish. So is Ratelle. But McLeish weaves his way out over the line. McLeish up the center. You never know. Here he goes. Gets in front and they jam him out of the play. It's kept in by Jim Watson. 1:15 remaining. Watson kept it in. Philadelphia net is empty now. They have 6 attackers on. At the blue line and out over. Ratelle, empty net. Goal! Ratelle has done it now for sure. He threw the puck from his own blue line. They usually wait till they get across center, but that's how accurate he is. And it's 6-3 Boston.
That looks like it's just about it for the Philadelphia Flyers. And I think it's rather appropriate that Jean Ratelle be the man that puts the icing on the cake with this empty net goal. Just had a tremendous game, a great series, and as we mentioned earlier, he's one of the steadiest performers and most durable performers in the NHL, as well as being a class person. And that's just about it for the Flyers. It looks like it's going to be Saturday night in Montreal.
18:56, the time of that goal, an empty net goal, Brian. Good shot, really, by Ratelle, but as I was saying, they usually wait till they get across center. If it had been wide, of course, had a bad face-off in their own zone.
Well, with a 2-goal lead, it makes a little difference, and Ratelle is so accurate anyway. It's only fitting, I think, that he gets this goal at 18:56 from Don Marcotte. Minute 4, and here's a big story in this game. Bobby Clarke, very disconsolate, sitting at the Philadelphia bench. LaPointe next to him has been great. LaPointe playing his last game as a Philadelphia Flyer. Dornhofer right next to him, number 12, his final appearance in a Flyer uniform. There's the message from the Boston Bruin fans.
Well, there it is. Ratelle scoring from just outside his own blue line. into the empty net, vacated by Bernie Parrott in favor of the 6th attacker. And it's 6-3 Boston. 1 minute remaining in the third period. And the Bruins will go on to meet the Montreal Canadiens for the Stanley Cup 1978 edition. That should be a great series, and you can see it all here on Hockey Night in Canada in its entirety.
Well, we've enjoyed having you with us again, Bill Clement. I think you've done an outstanding job anytime you've appeared with us, and you'll be welcome back anytime.
Thanks, Brian. Give me a chance to say that it's so easy when you're working with professional people such as you and Bob and all the other people that I've worked with. Have just made it so easy for me.
Well, thank you in return. 45 seconds left now.
3 goals, the Bruins lead. And O'Reilly going in with McNab. McNab gets a chance to move up, but he failed to get a shot away. 30 seconds remaining in the hockey game. Here's Doak back in his own zone. Boston leading 6-3. Jimmy Watson back at his own blue line. Jimmy Watson handles the puck with 15 seconds left in the game. Kindred-Chuck and Hoyda. Kindred-Chuck looking for a hole. It's just about over. The backhand shot is stopped by Cheevers. This Boston Garden is going wild now. With 6 seconds left, Watson took his shot. It escaped, and ladies and gentlemen, it's over. And they go wild here in Boston. And get ready for the Stanley Cup Final 1978. As you look at the jubilant Bruins, the Canadiens and the Bruins will fight it out again for the Coupe Stanley.
Well, I haven't heard this place rock like this since the glory days of Orr and Esposito. 72, they won the Stanley Cup, and now they challenge the Montreal Canadiens once again. And we should pass along a word of praise or two to the Philadelphia Flyers. Without Clarke, they gave it a good shot here tonight.